For demonstration purposes, we're going to talk about a couple of things that go wrong with diesel fuel. There are many unknown contaminants that will collect in a fuel tank. Sand, dirt, mostly water, biofilm. As you see here, this is a sample of our in-process. It's very clean and ready to be used. The sample here shows water on the bottom of the tank, which is normal in most cases where the fuel tank sets, condensation or water coming into the tank when fueling. By running water through a system, you sometimes can entrain water into fuel where it is actually bonded to the molecules. We're going to demonstrate how the ADS system removes all contaminants, water, and entrained fuel and gives you a very pure product to burn in your engines. What we have here is the same as what we have in here, and I'm going to be pouring this into a tank we have of clean diesel fuel just to show how the machine operates and removes all water and contaminants. To set up the machine, for this purpose we're using a fuel tank with approximately 55 gallons of diesel fuel. The fuel right now is clean, and what we have done is placed a tube into the tank so it goes to the bottom, which is where the majority of your water and contaminants are because they settle out, most of them being heavier than the fuel. We then put a return line into the top of the tank, power to the machine, open the valves, and start the machine. As you can probably hear, the machine is quite quiet. It is pumping right now approximately 1,000 gallons per hour of fuel circulating through the system, through hydrocyclones, and back into the tank, and of course through the filters and magnetics. To simply change from a roughing filter, like in your preliminary fuel polishing of the first job, you'll normally run on your roughing filters. In this case, these are 10 micron filters. When you have cycled the fuel one time through the system, we recommend then switching to a finer filter. Unlike most of our competitors, that requires you to stop the machine, change the filters, and then restart. The nice thing about this machine is you change the filter by just throwing the valve. It is now filling up the 2 micron cartridges. It is pulling the air out and is now going to start pumping fuel in a much finer micron filter. As the system runs, the intake comes in and is spun through what's known as a hydrocyclone. This removes probably 99% or better of the contaminants before they even reach the filter. Anything that escapes the hydrocyclone is also then removed by the coalescence built into the machine. These do not require any maintenance, you only need to drain. The next process is through magnetic, through the filters being water block filters, which eliminates any worry of having entrained water passing through and going back into solution. The flow meter is resettable to 0 and will show your customer how many gallons of fuel you have processed or liters. The vacuum gauge on the front, when the vacuum gauge reaches up in the 25 inches of mercury, and it's time to stop and change the filters because it is showing a lot of vacuum pressure going to the pump. In this case, it is running in the red, but that is good because of the amount of flow that we have going through the machine. Now I will take a sample of this fuel as it comes out and then show you what the fuel looks like now. I'm going to then pour in the contaminant to show what we removed. Down. Take a sample. If the sample looks a little cloudy right now, that is because of air bubbles. Those will definitely come out. I am now going to pour in the contaminated water and biofilm and nasty stuff. But before doing that, we don't entrain this into good fuel in order to stop the machine. As you'll see, the fuel is bad. I will now let that fuel settle a little bit so that all the water and contaminants go to the bottom. So we'll redo the demonstration shortly. Now that all the water and the biofilm and the entrained water has now had a chance to settle into the bottom of the fuel tank, and we're going to show how the unit will now remove the water and the contaminants from the diesel fuel by moving the wand to the lower side where the water is. You'll see now the hose will change. You can see where it's just now drawing water. This simulates the bottom of a fuel tank and sucking the water out. We'll run this for just a small period of time and make sure that all the water has now been removed by the system. And once this is done, what we will do now is to shut off the machine and show you the clean fuel drained from the bottom of this system. Now, in order to clean and drain the water and the pollutants out of the bottom of the tank, we now open the bleed valve, which is here on the top. We will now take a clear jar . Drain this off on the bottom by simply opening this valve. And you see nothing but water running out of the bottom. Water, contaminants, very slight little bit of fuel. Now drain off the rest of it. We poured quite a bit of water and contaminants into the system. You can see the hose running. It is very clear. Need to lower the camera. To show this process. Now, of course, this is marine diesel fuel, so it of course is dyed red. Cannot be used on highway applications. We're now getting the train fuel. Fairly clear. Stop here. So once again, it is removing all the entrained water and free water. Start the machine and take a sample of the pure product. Of course, when running the machine, we have to close the valve in order for it to pull ahead. And now it's pumping the fuel again. Take a sample. Camera again. Of course, clear fuel, this will clear up once the air bubbles are rising to the top. It will get purer or cleaner as the air bubbles are removed. This will now conclude the demonstration of the ADS1000 Mobile.